Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of a 48 Minutes Network special. Again, last week I sit there and I go, we don't really do this thing much. We take two of our shows and make an episode, but now we're doing it 2 weeks in a row because that's the time of the year we're at between college basketball conference tournaments and bench mob and the NBA kind of getting down to the nitty gritty of the playoff runs. But so, yeah, we're going to have another combined episode this week. Taylor and I talk about the North Carolina Duke game at the second half of this. But here you have Sean, Mackey, and myself. And Sean, let's just get right to it. We just saw it this past Saturday night. The Lakers and Warriors. The Lakers needed LeBron James to have a flashback game to score 56 points to win against the Draymond Greenless Golden State Warriors. Look, we've talked about it quite a bit this year, more than we've wanted to, that this team sucks. But to have a good moment finally this year, granted, it probably took another season off LeBron's career going through that, but just a fun night for him. A really good game, honestly. You get, if you're like a fan of the early 2000s NBA, this was the game for you because you get LeBron James scoring 56 and Carmelo Anthony hitting a game-winning, like game-sealing three. So, what a night! What a fun game!
Yeah. Well, the NBA was riding on this too, because a lot of people, I feel like, typically a Lakers Warriors Saturday night game would be a big draw, and with the Warriors kind of slumping a little bit and the Lakers being trash and not being able to get rid of Russell Westbrook at all, it was. I think it was a really good thing that LeBron put on a show. So the people that did end up tuning in, the NBA is at an advantage right now. NFL's over with right now. There's no baseball yet. Really, it's one of the only things to watch in terms of sports. So being able to capitalize on a Saturday night game like that, which, like I said, that usually should be a really good matchup, but going in, you were like, I don't know. I don't really care about this matchup. And then it ends up turning out to be a great game. It's good for the NBA. LeBron had to go ahead and do a little show off game. Wasn't one of the Los Angeles Rams there?
Yeah, Matthew Stafford was there. We don't talk about the Los Angeles Rams.
Oh yeah, we don't. I forgot. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Who are they? Still not over it. All right. Too soon. I'm sorry.
Too soon forever, Sean. There's never not a too soon with that.
There's never. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, Carmelo sealing the deal in the game. Very exciting. Let's kind of get into the Warriors right now and their slump. It sounds like we're pretty close to a Draymond return from what I understand, but what kind of impact is Draymond going to make at this point?
I think it just really still dictates their defense. I mean, this is a team that hasn't had James Wiseman all year. So, they're kind of relying on guys, and this is not, to dig at these certain players that I mentioned, but, you're kind of looking at guys like Kevon Looney to kind of like fill the paint for them. And that's not to say he's a bad player, but he's not what they thought they'd be getting from those two this season, and rightfully so. Obviously, he's kind of like, I hate the cliche sports heart and soul thing, that's always dumb to me. But Draymond is the closest thing to that cliche. He's kind of the guy that keeps the ball rolling. I mean, you saw they were in the play-in last year without Klay Thompson. This year they obviously make a good run at it. And I mean, they're still a top 3 seed. They're still the 2 seed, but Memphis is like getting closer and closer during this losing streak. I think for this team to win the championship, which, a lot of us kind of at the beginning of the year really thought, oh shit, this team could really win the title. This team needs Draymond Green to win the championship. They need to have him there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think that's kind of the deciding factor for them in Phoenix right now. I know Phoenix just lost in the finals rematch game to Milwaukee, which was a really good game also, by the way. But this team definitely needs Draymond to kind of achieve their goals. Without him, no disrespect to Stephen Clay and Wiggins in the year he's had, I can't see them winning without him.
Well, I mean, we got to look at some sort of a bright light from this game. So the Warriors are getting production from their bench. So Jordan Poole, he dropped 23 points. 5 assists, 1 steal. Kuminga came in, who I really like Kuminga. I don't know why.
I
I
did
just
too.
really like him. 18
Some
points,
people in our
5
break last
rebounds,
week
2
got some
steals.
Kuminga rookies.
I saw. Yeah. So, some
Yeah.
people, yeah. I like him a lot. And you're not Steph's going to be Steph. Wiggins kind of made the All-Star team, and I feel like he's kind of taken a little bit of a step back since the All-Star break. And Porter's solid, but you need Draymond Green in this scenario. Kevon Looney, I mean, I
I
don't
like
think
him.
I like him too. I think he's a great backup player. I'm really interested to see what's going to happen. I doubt Wiseman comes back and provides anything for this team, and I don't think he gives them any meaningful minutes. I don't think
That
they could
bums me
trust him with
out.
anything. So it bums me out too, because I feel like the fans just want to see it,
Yeah.
So he's gone, So they're in kind of a weird spot right now. Clay has come back. I wouldn't say that Clay is the same player that he was 5 years ago right now, but he's still, I feel like, kind of getting his feet wet and going out there
Right.
and playing. So, I mean, he's been gone for 2 years. I get it. But they're going to have to lock in. And I feel like Draymond is the one person that is going to be able to help them unlock that. And they have to get him back. And he has to be in good shape. And he had a back injury, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a little bit scary for playoff time. But hopefully they can get him back and they can, kind of make a run. I think, they're still in a good spot right now. So, I'm still happy that they're in this year. So,
Yeah, we're talking about we're talking about how Klay Thompson is not Klay Thompson just yet. And that's saying, this kind of shows you how great he was in that run.
Yeah.
Is that he's shooting 37% from 3, and we're going, yeah, he's not Klay Thompson right now, though.
Yeah.
And he's shooting 7.5 threes a game, 37%. And we're talking like he's slumping. That just shows you how awesome he is.
Probably the most underappreciated second banana of the 2010s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. I was just kind of looking at that recently. I was kind of laughing, but yeah, I agree with you. What they're getting from, like you said, I really like Kuminga. He's been awesome, way better than I thought he'd be, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just kind of getting to a system where like they're going to boost you and get the most out of you.
Yeah.
Is the way to do it for him, and that's kind of really jumped out and really been a big energetic thing for them. But yeah, man, I think I'm with you. It's kind of comes back to, do they get Draymond Green back? How soon do they get Draymond Green back? Because you don't want to get guys back in their legs underneath them in the postseason, obviously. And we're now at this point, we're pretty close to the end of the season. So I don't know, man. It's just kind of a lot to kind of expect from them. But if they get Draymond back, I really like their chances. Without him, I just feel like Phoenix just runs to the West. But I know we've talked about it quite a bit, and we're liking it. I'm liking it. I'm feeling more and more confident about the Memphis Grizzlies in the Western Conference.
Absolutely. Yeah. Ja Morant is the most exciting player in the NBA right now. He is I feel like he is a generational talent. Like, I think he's that good. I think he has like the stuff that he's been doing this year, the athleticism, just the, not giving up on any plays, just being clutch in moments that he doesn't even need to be clutch in, I mean, that is who he has become. The Grizzlies, I'll just go ahead and say this. I would not want to play the Grizzlies in any playoff matchup at this point at all. Don't care. And I'm saying that for any team out in the West. I would not want to be anyone wanting to play them right now at all, because they are not going to go away lightly.
I agree. I think just to kind of what they're seeing from them, the young athleticism, the excitement. And here's the thing. Obviously, we've talked about this quite a bit. So right now they will, I shouldn't say right now. It's not like protected. They will have, and this is obviously looking forward. This is just the beginning of what we're going to get from this organization together, as long as these guys stay healthy, of course. Jaren Jackson Jr. obviously has experience of not being healthy. Ja Morant still scares the shit out of me with how he plays at times. But I still really am excited about what they could be, because they have that Lakers pick, and right now the Lakers are picking in the lottery.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's a very good possibility they could add another lottery player to this team that already has John Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Dylan Brooks. And, you can go down the list of these really young, good players they have. Santi Aldama has somewhat been decent when called upon for them,
Yeah.
which is kind of crazy to me because that was one of the few guys I didn't even know about going into the draft. But yeah, I think this is a really fun team, and I'm with you, man. Like, that's a team I don't want to play in a postseason if I'm going against them.
I think it would be. I think this is going to be like they're going to make it to the playoffs this year, and I feel like this is John Morant's time to really shine, and I think the entire sports atmosphere is going to eventually end up watching John Morant, and I think it's gonna. I think he has the potential to start drawing in people the way that Steph Curry did, 7-8 years ago, where it's like it's must see television, and I feel like if he puts on a couple of good shows in the playoffs, I feel like people are really going to start gravitating towards him. The casual NBAers.
I think he is. You said it earlier. He's the most exciting player in the league right now. And I completely agree with that. I don't think he should get most improved player. And I know this is another cliche that's been said a lot because he should be in the MVP conversation.
Absolutely.
He has been that tremendous. He has been that incredible. And he's, been the true leader of that Memphis team. I do, when everyone's like, it's Derrick Rose. And like, yeah, he has a lot of Derrick Rose similarities of like what Derrick Rose was like in his prime.
Yeah.
Obviously you don't want him to suffer the same fate. So I want him to get more consistent with landing on 2 feet again when he dunks. That would be terrific.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, he's just a blast, and I can't say enough good things about him. One of the few jerseys I have in my collection is John Morant.
Same.
Yeah. Yeah, we each got the Memphis throwbacks, but we got different ones. You got the classic Vancouver one. I got the classic bold letter Memphis, which I still really like a lot. So
yeah,
love
I'm all ready for the playoffs when my Bulls flame out.
Yeah. That's just a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
We've had so much fun with them all year. I'm still having a blast, but they're on a 4-game losing streak right now. Where DeRozan's kind of coming back down to earth a little bit. Zach LaVine has been kind of battling the knee injury, and obviously not having Caruso and not having Lonzo has obviously hurt this team. But
or Pat Williams.
Yeah, or Pat Williams.
Yeah.
Hell, I mean, yeah, Troy Brown ain't the guy. I'm quickly figuring that out. No disrespect to Troy Brown. Congratulations on lasting as long as you have in the league. But he's not a guy that's going to, he might be out of the playoff rotation. He might not get playoff minutes.
Might happen. Yeah.
So I don't know, man. It's just a bummer. And they're playing right now against the Sixers, who they haven't beat yet this year in 3 games.
And they've never beaten Embiid at all.
Nope. And they're down 5 in the first quarter.
If I were a betting man, I would be betting against the Bulls tonight. So I don't think there's any way that they're gonna be able to. I mean, Vooch can't stop him.
No. I mean, Giannis can't stop him, and Giannis is pretty incredible himself. So
yeah, it's bad. So let's go back to the Lakers Warriors game real quick. So
okay.
LeBron, I think we kind of just skimmed over LeBron having the biggest game of the year for him.
Yeah.
Is this a fluke?
I don't think so. I mean, he's definitely no, he hasn't had a 56-point game all year, but we've seen him turn in awesome. I mean, I was there in person. He scored 39.
Yeah.
So, I certainly think he still has these in him. I think the fluke is obviously more, the Westbrook thing's just an easy target at this point, but they're relying on Stanley Johnson to play big minutes. And I like Stanley Johnson. I think he's been really good for them, but how many more minutes can you get out of guys like Stanley Johnson, DJ Augustine, Avery Bradley? They're so weird with Kent Bazemore. They'll have a decent game, and then they just won't play him at all the next week. So I don't know if it's a fluke. I'm definitely surprised they beat the Warriors. Don't get me wrong. But if you're just asking if the LeBron performance is a fluke, I don't think so. Would I be shocked if he goes into San Antonio tonight and drops 33? I would not be.
Yeah.
I think he's like top 3 in the league in
So are we
scoring
going
right
to talk?
now.
Yeah. Yeah. So are we going to talk about this? Are we going to talk about Boston?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, here's the thing.
Okay.
First off,
Okay.
yesterday,
He's here to make
let's
some excuses.
let's get happy about one thing yesterday. They did work on the Brooklyn Nets.
They did.
The Brooklyn Nets are under 500 65 games into the season.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. But they lost one of their best players just recently, and their other one is apparently too shy to play. So
Yeah, I guess they said he's not going to play Thursday in Philly, but he's making the trip with the team. I know.
because he doesn't want to go out there. He's going to get mercilessly booed the entire game. Like, I mean, they're going to tear him apart in Philly. I mean,
yep, it's going to be awesome.
I mean, I'm assuming that you read that story maybe that was running around last year about there was some sort of robot that they were sending town to town and ended up going all the way through the world and everything, and they let it loose in Philadelphia, and Philadelphia people just destroyed the robot in the middle of the street.
Well, yeah, man, they don't want the government to see what they're doing.
I mean, like out of it, like went through all these different places, like New York and everywhere else, and then like it gets to Philly, and Philly's like, "What's this?" And they end up destroying this robot. So
the classic story, they booed Santa Claus.
So what are they gonna do to Ben Simmons if he shows up?
No, he is showing up. He's just not playing. He's gonna be sitting on the bench.
He's actually gonna be in attendance on the bench,
according to what Shams said today. And Shams and Ben Simmons do have the same agent.
Brave man.
I'm sure he's probably just like, let's just get this over with.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. But the fact that he's still not playing is a joke.
Whatever. I'm sick of Ben Simmons. I'm so sick of him.
I'm so sick of him. I haven't seen him play in over a year.
Yeah, just sick of talking about him.
So sick of him.
Yeah, at least like when Anthony Davis requested that trade, we were like, okay, we know he wants to play, and they sent him home at one point. They're like, we're gonna tank, so just go home.
Old street clothes Davis.
So the Celtics.
Yes.
39-27.
Yep.
Pretty solid. Fifth in the East. Right now, if the season ended today, I'd be playing the Bulls. I think I would take the Celtics in that series right now.
Yep, I would too.
Yeah. 3-game win streak. They had that one weird game last week where they lost to the Pacers, but other than that, they've been pretty tremendous. They beat Brooklyn twice recently. They've beaten the Sixers recently. They not only beat the Sixers, they friggin' beat them 135-87.
That's insane.
They're actually on a 3-game win streak against the Nets right now.
Well, and Jason Tatum had one of the best games of his career.
Oh my God, he was insane yesterday.
54 points, played 41 minutes.
Yeah.
54 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. You don't take out a guy who's putting up that kind of production.
Player of the week.
Yeah, and you look at Al Horford. Al Horford has somehow been rejuvenated all of a sudden. I almost forgot that he was playing with the Celtics again.
Mm-hmm.
13 points, 7 and 4. Time Lord had 10 and 8. Jaylen Brown 24. I mean, and you're getting meaningful minutes again from Marcus Smart. So just an incredible performance, and totally outplayed Kevin Durant. Ended up outplaying. I mean, he had to win, and you look at that game, and I'll tell you, man, I don't know what Brooklyn's going to do in the playoffs. I have no confidence in them to do anything right now. I
don't either.
I feel like their bubble has I think last year was possibly their big mark, because
I agree.
They don't have any depth at all. There's no depth there at all. I mean, Seth Curry, I like them having Seth Curry, but I don't know. I don't really think they're using him correctly.
I agree. After Kyrie, Durant, and Curry, you're like, all right, cool, Dion. Go out there and give us minutes, Blake Griffin.
And Patty Mills, I mean, he had 14 minutes last night. He put up 3 points. It's everybody thought, he was going to be great and everything. And he's had some moments this year, but with Kyrie Irving back, he's on the bench. So it's very frustrating to see, what's kind of happening to that team. But Celtics winning that one last night, 126-120. And then before that, the game before, they ended up playing the Grizzlies. They beat the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Before that, they beat the Hawks. I mean, you just go back and you're looking at all this. I mean, they beat the Knicks or the Nets on February 24th. I mean, they've been, and like you said, that complete absolute beatdown on the day after Valentine's Day, 135-87 against the 76ers. So they are playing, and the Nuggets, they beat the Nuggets. Like, they're beating good teams. They're not just, they're beating really, really good teams. And going back to January, they beat the Heat. I mean, looking back, man, they've won they've barely lost at all.
Yeah, we were talking about this team like in December, like laughing at how much they sucked and how like Marcus Smart was fighting with Tatum and Brown and saying that they need to pass and all this stuff. And now we're like, damn it.
What has happened though? Do you think they just like woke up one day and were like, that's it, we're better than this?
Since Christmas, they've been the best defense in the league. I think that really has played a part. And obviously Tatum and Brown kind of, Brown was out for a few weeks for a few games with an ankle injury.
Yeah.
And Tatum got to really shine in those games. I think it's just kind of maybe it's because they got Daniel Theis in a trade again. Maybe that did it.
Yeah. Yeah, they did get him back.
That's obviously a joke, but
they did get. Well, I mean, he did provide them some depth a couple years ago. So sometimes you get a guy in a jersey where he's comfortable. The old Lance Stevenson type scenario.
The Kirk Heinrich.
The Kirk Heinrich. It just gets the juices going again. So. Looking at their schedule ahead, next two games, they got the Hornets and the Pistons. So, this is going to be
play weirdly well against the Celtics. They don't beat them, but they always like just take them like to the wire.
Well, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say those are two easier games that they could go ahead and win. And after that, they got the Mavericks, the Warriors, and then the Kings. So, you're going to probably get at least one of those three. So they don't have a terrible schedule for the next couple of games either. So they're going to be keeping up with padding the wins there. And they might pass up Chicago. Who knows? So
I would probably put money on that happening pretty soon just because the Bulls schedule is
brutal. It's brutal.
Yeah. They've got, before we get to that, I did want to mention, so this came out yesterday. And I thought it was really funny. So Kyrie Irving compares Celtics fans to a scorned girlfriend. It's like the scorned girlfriend who wants an explanation on why I left, but still hoping for a text back. I'm just like, it was fun while it lasted. You showed the Eastern Conference Finals. I understand you were hurt, but you didn't even sit on the bench.
Yeah.
Eastern Conference Finals. You do Celtics Fan Fest for your free agent year, and you say, if you guys would have me back, I will sign here.
Yeah. Everybody thought that he was re-signing there. That was the whole talk of the year. Oh, he's coming back. Like, that wasn't even a...
yeah, we were like sitting there like, oh man, they might go to the finals with this group. Like...
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
What could have been.
Yeah. You just hate to see it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, just unbelievable, man. I'm so sick of. I hate Kyrie so much. I shouldn't hate basketball players, or at least express what I do on wax, but he is definitely on the hate list.
No, I understand.
Yeah. All right, so let's start real quick. A couple other trends I want to look at. The Bucks are kind of getting back in business. They've won 4 in a row.
Yeah.
Grayson Allen's still a schmuck. And then this, we've got Dallas winning 4 in a row. They've been on a roll. Minnesota. How about that? 36-29, 4 straight wins. Karl-Anthony Towns, Western Conference Player of the Week.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing, Tim, is we're seeing teams that are starting to lock in and they're getting ready for the playoffs.
Yeah.
And we're really seeing, who's really locking in right now and who isn't. And I feel like the play-in this year is going to be super interesting on both sides. I think the playoffs are going to be really good this year. Like I think we're at a point where talent is really kind of peaking in the NBA. I know a lot of old timers would probably disagree with that, but it's true. And
Thank you. That was a topic I wanted to bring up.
so I think I think it's going to be a really really decent NBA finals or NBA playoffs this year. I think it's going to be just really really good.
Yeah, I agree. I'm very excited for it. Yeah. So you brought up how the old timers. We go through this all the time, and I know we've just touched on a bunch of topics here. Um, so I just kind of want to talk about the contrasting differences between two that have come out recently. There was that thing where Charles Oakley was on a podcast, and he said that Giannis would come off the bench in his era, which is just unfathomably stupid to say. He's
Oh,
like Giannis,
he's just saying that to get clicks, man. That's not even worth anything.
considering Giannis is already a top 30 NBA player of all time, probably. Like,
Yeah. That's just Oak reaching right there, just for some clicks. That's all that is.
yeah. Well, it's stupid. But what I'm
Yeah,
trying to get at is when you have guys like that who just like to always like do this thing where they belittle, the inside the NBA guys. We've talked about that quite a bit. Where I like when they're like, we've talked a lot about when Shaq and Barkley talked about Embiid. It wasn't that they were like hassling him. They were just like, look, we've been great and we know what it takes and we think you can be great. So we want you to be great. And look, he's been great. Um, Especially the fact that he's healthy. It's fucking awesome to see him healthy. It's been a blast.
yeah,
But Allen Iverson recently posted a picture with his MVP trophy
yeah,
and Ja Morant's jersey on there. And he said, it's only a matter of time.
yeah,
And with the NBA 75 stuff at the All-Star game, there's that clip going around where Giannis goes up to Allen Iverson, introduces himself,
yeah.
and is like, I saw your documentary. I started playing basketball because of you. And Allen Iverson's like, I love it. I love it. He's like, I love what you do. Keep grinding. I just feel like Allen Iverson has set the precedent on how NBA legends should treat the current game because everything he said there was perfect and everything he's done to show love for Ja. He called LeBron the
Which,
one at one point,
yeah,
like just perfect.
yeah. I feel like there's been like a part of, I feel like Allen Iverson had, he's one of those guys who was known kind of as a prickly NBA player. Um, you know, I feel like he's softened quite a bit over the last couple years, and I feel like he's really embraced his role as kind of an ambassador of the NBA.
I agree.
Which you like to see because there's a lot of players that don't, so a lot of players that aren't out there, doing that, and it's all feel good stuff. I mean, we got Scottie Pippen, destroying all of his old teammates in a book, trying to get people to buy that, and we got Oak, talking smack, and it's at a certain point, just
Rashid's LeBron wouldn't last in my era was really funny to me considering they played in the same
they played in
era.
the same era. Yeah, they did. They did play in the same era. So it's like, did you forget about that?
Yeah, did you forget that he like eliminated you from the playoffs and had a playoff game where he scored 25 straight, Rashid?
No, he's blocked that from his mind. That's why
I
he doesn't
understand.
remember it. So yeah,
It's also always funny to me that I remember that Rasheed Wallace went to the finals as a member of the Celtics when they lost to the Lakers in 10.
yeah, he did. That's something that totally escaped my brain. So thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, me too. Um, I want to touch on Jokic real fast because he
Sure.
had another freaking incredible game yesterday. And Bobby Marks kind of talked about this. And I know I think Bobby's really goofy on television
He is.
at times, it just kind of feels like he's like always feels out of place. So he had 46, 12, and 11 yesterday. 4 blocks, 3 steals on top of that. We've talked, he's a defending MVP. A lot of people are trying to make the case he's the best player in the world right now. And he might be, he
Yeah.
might be. Are we at the point, and I kind of agree with this, Bobby Marks was like, if we're going to do this whole thing with all NBA, we have to get rid of positions. He's like, because Jokic is basically a point guard on offense and defensively plays a center. He's like, we talked about LeBron all this time. He's like, I think we're at the point now where like, it's unfair that Joel Embiid or Nikola Jokic, because they're listed as a center, is going to be second team NBA, and one of them's also going to finish second in MVP voting.
Yeah, do away with that and then reinstate the center position for the All-Star game. Please.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, I'm cool
we're
with
all
that.
back. We're all backwards on that.
Yeah. I just want to make sure we gave Jokic his flowers because he was incredible. Dude, he was so good.
Yeah. I'm very much looking forward to watching some Nuggets basketball during the playoffs.
Yeah.
Especially if we get Jamal Murray back.
Yeah, I think Michael Porter, they're talking about like potentially coming back soon too.
I don't know. I don't see that happening, but I think Murray will be back.
Yeah, I hope so for the sake of the Nuggets. All right, man. I think we can kind of go ahead and wrap from here. This is a lot of fun. Let's do this real quick. Stay tuned on the same episode. We're going to give you some at-large bid. Hear Taylor Bergfeld celebrate North Carolina ending Coach K's final game at Cameron. It's awesome. It's very funny. And then also do a little conference preview talk, kind of give our predictions for the Power 5 conference tournaments before we get you ready for Selection Sunday. So Sean and I got some plans coming up for what we're going to do with Winning Time.
Mm-hmm.
Also check us out on the YouTube channel that we did our card break last week for 2022 NBA Hoops. We have a big one coming up. So we'll send some information out. Thank you guys. Have a good one. Hopefully we get Ben and Josh back soon. See ya.